What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the CeeLo's Film Club. We break down the biggest movie news and dive deep into the world of cinema. Today, I'm going to be talking about some movie news that came out this week. One of the topics we'll be talking about of Tom Holland. He had an injury during the shooting of Spider-Man Brand New Day. I'll give you more insights on that. We also have DCU casting of Batman coming to you from James Gunn and a little bit of the progress of Batman Brave and the Bold. We also have a teaser of who the main villain of the Superman sequel Man of Tomorrow, who is going to be. James Gunn took it upon himself to put the front cover of the script on his social media. And I'm also going to be giving you a small breakdown of Peacemaker, of the last episode that came out last week. Can't wait to talk to you guys about that. But before we get started, guys, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe button, turn on your notifications so you guys do not miss a beat on any of the movie news. All right, guys, we did have a little bit of sad news. Nothing too crazy to worrisome, but something to hope that no actor goes through while shooting a film. Tom Holland suffered a small injury during the set of Spider-Man Brand New Day. We all know that Tom Holland has been seen doing most of his stunts. To be honest, most of his stunts you see him doing, and he suffered a small head injury. I think he fell, hit his head. But I'm gonna give you a little bit more insight, according to the Hollywood Reporter. Yeah, guys, according to the Hollywood Reporter, Tom Holland to return to Spider-Man set next week. After injury, the film was shut down for a week rather than attempt to shoot without the star. Tom Holland will be taking a week off from the set of Spider-Man Brand New Day after suffering injury on set Friday. Sony executives met on Monday to work out a plan to resume filming and determine the production will shut down for 1 week rather to attempt to shoot without Holland. It's not expected to impact the film's July 31, 2026 release date. As for Holland's injury was described as a mild concussion. He is taking a break of an abundance of caution. Insiders say the actor was able to attend a charity event on Saturday for the Brothers Trust, which he runs with his brothers. Dustin Daniel Cretton is directing Brand New Day after working with Marvel Studios Shanghai and The Legend of Ten Rings and the upcoming Wonder Man TV show. Yeah, this is just a little bit more who's in the film. Pretty much he suffered a mild concussion, guys. He fell, hit his head. I'm pretty sure he had to get cleared from a doctor. If you guys ever, gotten any injuries, you get cleared to return to work or return to to doing a sport that you're doing, any physical activities, exercise and stuff like that. So I think they don't want to shoot without him. He wants to probably continue to do his own stunt. But this is something, maybe he has to tone it down a little bit. Maybe him swinging throughout the city with on real ropes and stuff like that. Maybe we should tone it down a bit. I'm glad that Tom Holland is good. It was nothing more serious. I'm not sure if he had to get stitches or not, but hopefully, it was nothing more that, we can tell. It seems like everything is fine. He's coming back to shooting next week. It should not delay any of the release for Spider-Man Brand New Day. And yeah, actually, when I first heard this news, I was a little worrisome because I didn't dig deep into it right away. But I'm glad that he's doing okay. I'm glad they could shoot right away. If they would have taken a couple more weeks, they should have. But hopefully they're not rushing it, and it's just a small mild concussion more than anything. I'm glad Tom Holland is okay. And we're continuing to shoot Brand New Day. Like I said, guys, I'm very excited for Brand New Day. I'm more excited Brand New Day than I am of Doomsday. Yeah, but that is everything for the Tom Holland injury. A small little update. I'm glad that Tom Holland is doing okay. All right, guys, let's talk about next topic. We got a little bit of the DCU Batman casting updates coming from James Gunn. I'm going to read you guys an article from Screen Rant. He pretty much was an interview, was talking about the casting, if they're thinking about casting a big star or not. I'm going to give you guys exactly what he said. And then from there, I'm going to give you guys my thoughts on who he was talking about, if they're actually going to go for a big star or not. But we shall see, guys. Let's see. This is according to Screen Rant. I'm going to be scrolling down. It has a lot of other stuff. They're talking about the Brave and the Bold. But let's go down. So James, during an interview with the Ringerverse, Gunn was asked about the state currently, for finding the next star to take over the Batsuit in the DCU. Without revealing names, the DC studio co-CEO revealed that he definitely has actors in mind for the role while sharing the following. James Gunn, James Gunn saying this. Do I have ideas of actors to play Batman? Absolutely, I do. I have guys I like. I have guys that are at the top of the list, just like I had that were on top of the list for Superman. But let me tell you something. They aren't David Cornset, right? They didn't get the job. People can guess, and maybe they'll have a right thing about certain things. I don't know. I don't know. We're talking about specifically, totally up in the air. I would have to screen test. We'd love to do the whole thing. It's unlikely that I'm going to hire someone like, Sylvester Stallone as Batman, where we're just hiring him. It's unlikely that Batman is going to be one of those guys, but it's possible. I know one actor in particular who's pretty big star that wants to be Batman. We talked about it, but I'm not sure what's that case. Guys, what does that mean? The actor that he is talking about, and what does he mean by, saying that, there's a lot of actors that he has in mind. They're saying that they're not a David Corn sweat. What does that mean? I'm taking it as is. He has maybe a couple actors in mind. I think the person that approached him, the big actor that wants to be Batman, is Jake Gyllenhaal. If you guys do not know, he actually casted for the role of the Dark Knight. When with Christian Bale, Cillian Murphy, and another actor. I think he was like top 3, and he wasn't chosen. I think he would be a very good age range for this Batman. He also was seen, at the Emmys. He came up to, I forgot the kid's name already. The kid from Adolescence. His name is Owen. I'm just gonna call him Owen. Owen, he came up to him because Owen's a big fan of his. They had a nice little chat. He gave him like a little lucky pin, and he won the Emmy Awards. I think it would be good. So you have Jake Gyllenhaal, him as Batman, and that kid that won the Emmy for Adolescence as Robin, as Damian Wayne. But it seems like he doesn't. There's not one person yet. You know what I mean? He didn't really dance around the question because I think it does come down to screen testing. Even if you have a big name actor that you want, you do have to screen test them. Christian Bale screen tested for Batman. Um, when that came out, and he was already a big name. But I'm not sure, guys, what this means. I'm not sure what this means. I'm pretty sure he's going to have to, screen test every actor, not every actor, but a lot of actors, and just kind of figure out from then. Because David Cornset, I actually had never heard of his name until he was in the top tier for, casting for Superman, and I think they're gonna go with that. I think they should go for a little bit of a bigger name, to be honest, because it kind of puts the DCU kind of in a higher staple, because they try to get Josh Brolin as Green Lantern. That didn't work out. Matthew McConaughey, that didn't work out. They ended up getting Kyle Chandler, which he's great, but he wouldn't have been my top list. I want to see them show that they have that pool of bringing actors if they want. Big name actors or bigger name actors or names that are coming in hot right now in Hollywood. And I'm very excited, guys, to see who they cast. Hopefully, Jake Gyllenhaal. My top number one name is Ryan Gosling. But if James Gunn picking him, I'll trust him at the end of the day. Robert Pattinson is the Elseworld Batman, which I think he's great in it, but I don't think they're going to end up, for sure, they're not going to end up bleeding together. But let me know, guys, thoughts on who this big name actor that James Gunn spoke to that's interested in playing Batman. Put him down below, or who do you want them to cast as the new DCU Batman? All right, guys, for our next topic, we're going to be talking about Superman, Man of Tomorrow. It is a sequel that James Gunn is writing, and he pretty much already has a draft already ready. And he went on his social media to post the front cover of his script, and it gives up a lot more insight of who we were all speculating of who the villain is going to be. I'm going to pull up the picture. I'm actually going to go on his thread real quick so you guys can see exactly what he posted and stuff like that. Pretty much James Gunn, so he pretty much took it upon himself, posted the front picture on his social media. Like, I'm pulling up threads right now. So as you can see, reposting here at higher res because of some problems last time around. So I guess he posted something before and it did not look that good. So I'm gonna pull up the picture. You see the front of the script. It says DC Studios, Man of Tomorrow. Written by James Gunn, Superman created by Jerry Siegel and Joe Shooter. Sorry, I'm saying that incorrect. Draft number 2. So he already had turned in one draft on 9. So the draft number 2 is 9/22/25, September 22nd of 2025 is the second draft. But this can be anything, but more than anything, we already know what this is. So they show the anatomy of the side of a human brain, and what, right, just me saying that, I'm not even looking for it. We're all speculating the you know the famous villain of Brainiac, guys. I think we're gonna get Brainiac in Man of Tomorrow. I'm not sure how they're gonna go with this story. I think Brainiac is, we're ready to introduce Brainiac, guys. Or even if he's not like the crazy main villain, he's probably the guy pulling in puppeteers from the back. He's the man behind the scenes, and we have maybe multiple villains, which would be pretty cool. That would be pretty cool. We all know that Lex Luthor is going to come back, and he's going to be someone working with Lex Luthor in a capacity, to some capacity, and he's going to have that suit. We've seen those pictures floating around. James Gunn already talked about they're going to work in some capacity because we need brains to beat brains. And Brainiac is smart, Lex Luthor is smart. But we're going to have to see, guys. We're going to have to see in what capacity. They're gonna, we're gonna have Brainiac, how the story's gonna go with Lex Luthor and Superman. Who else is gonna be in the movie, and stuff like that. And I'm very excited for this. I like how they're just getting this rolling. We're not waiting 6-7 years for another sequel. Usually sequels take about 3 to 4 years between for them to release. But he's on the roll, guys. He's writing. His pen is on that paper, just going. Sparks are flying on this script. I can't wait for this, guys. And this is more of a teaser of Brainiac. Can it be something else? Yes, it can. But why would he post this? It's just going to be confusing people. And I honestly do think it's going to be Brainiac for the main villain. And I'm very excited. I've not seen Brainiac, on a movie, and he's long overdue, guys. Long overdue to see him on the big screen, and I can't wait for this, guys. What do you guys think? Is it Brainiac? Is it someone else? What do you guys think the story's going to be with Lex Luthor and Superman fighting Brainiac? Is Lex Luthor a full villain still, or are they going to try to Hollywood him and make it somewhat of a somewhat of a hero? All right, guys, I'm going to give you guys a breakdown of Peacemaker episode 5. We have a lot to talk about this, episode. Pretty much, it sets up that Argus, Emilia, they're going to go pretty much set up Chris to pretty much take him in. And as you can tell, that Emilia is going to be working with Argus so she can get her job back. She's down in luck. She has no money. And, you see that Rick Flag, Senior has told Emilia that, that if you come and help us, we can, we can give you your job back. I can make that happen. I think Rick Jr. would have loved that. And you also told me that, we would get payback for what happened to Rick Jr. But Emilia, does set up Chris, but she sends him a text saying, pretty much giving him a little keyword, pretty much saying, do not show up. And Chris, of course, being Chris. That's one thing that I don't like about Chris. He's very, I don't want to say dumb. I don't know if he's just being dumb or stubborn, but pretty much he ends up showing up and Emilia's pissed. And she's like, dude, are you an idiot right now? Try to give you everything in my powers for you now to show up, and you still showed up. And all he's asking her is, why are you being like this with me? Why would have been a chance of me and you being together? And she straight up tells him, no, there's never a chance of us being together. I'm just trying to save your freaking life right now. And pretty much what happens is, Argus comes in, Emilia kind of backs off a little bit. Chris is fighting some of the guards, not the guards, but some of the, the Argus agents. And right when you see Sasha Bordeaux's about to, take down Chris, we see her eye turn to cybernetic. So she's pretty much a cyborg. Not sure to what extent she is a cyborg. She's a full cyborg, half cyborg, or what. But we finally figured out that Sasha Bordeaux is somewhat computer, which I thought was a pretty cool touch. My jaw dropped to the ground, and I was very surprised. Right when she's about to pull the trigger on Chris to take him down, Emilia comes in and takes Chris down. The only reason, and chokes him out. And the only reason she does that is Chris does not get pretty much, killed or anything like that, because they already told they're there to shoot to kill or bring him in. Then they're bringing him in. Rick Flag Senior pretty much puts him in a room, beats the crap out of him, tells everyone get out of the room, beats the crap out of him. They turn off the cameras, and pretty much Economos does a thing at this turning point where, Emilia goes up to Economos and tells him, you have to book him. And he goes, why? Because if you book him, that means, what's it called? His fingerprints are, are in, and there's a possibility that Rick Flag Senior kills him if he doesn't get booked. So pretty much saying like we're saving Chris's life by booking him, ends up booking him, and then you see Langston come in and pretty much tells Economos it's a good thing you did that. And that's how you can tell that Langston's not a piece of shit eternally. He's still a good person. For him to say that was actually really good. Pretty much saying like he's not really here to kill Peacemaker. He's here to do the right thing. And I think overall that was the right thing. Peacemaker ends up leaving Argus because he got booked. Ends up going back to his place where in the cabin where they're hiding out, where Eagly and Ads is at. But during that time, Eagly has a standoff with Sergeant Red. Sergeant Red is there to hunt Eagly. Sergeant Red has somewhat of a I don't want to say superpowers, but holistic powers where you can see where Eagly's at. And pretty much he gets there, he grabs his gun, shoots an eagle down, and it ends up not being Eagly. Ends up being a different eagle. Then you see a bunch of eagles taking Sergeant Red down, and then he looks up and then he looks at Eagly, and Eagly has that that aura kind of outline that Sergeant Red has seen in the past when he put it down on the ground when he was trying to figure out where Eagly's at. And he looks at him and he tells him, "You are the one." Pretty much as he was referring back to the last episode, he was saying that Eagly was the one. He's pretty much like the main eagle, and he was there to take him down. And we thought it was all bogus that he was making that excuse just to kill Eagly, but Eagly is the one. He is that eagle. He is the one that pretty much has that aura power of eagles. And Sergeant Red was right, and as you can see, they end up killing Sergeant Red, rightfully so, because Sergeant Red was there to kill Eagly. Whether it's Eagly or Sergeant Red, I'm gonna pick Eagly. I love Eagly. I love animals, love Eagly, and I think that was a perfect way to end that back and forth kind of cat and mouse situation with Eagly and Sergeant Red. I do like Michael Hooker in this character. When he was looking at Eagly, you could just tell those eyes that he portrays was spot on. Very good acting. Very, very good acting by Mr. Hooker. Then we get, John Cena's Peacemaker. He wants to pretty much tells Ads that he just wants to go back to this dimension. Amelia doesn't like him. The government's out for him. He killed Rick Flag Jr., which is still haunting him. Which, how I feel about that situation, there were orders by Viola Davis, character Amanda Waller, which he did just follow him at the end of the day. Whether if it's right or wrong, he did follow just orders. If not, you guys have to remember he did have that bomb inside his head, and Rick Flag Jr. didn't. That's one thing that you have to look at, whether it's his life or Rick Flag Jr.'s life. And I think he chose his own life. But it does come with repercussion, and he's still living it through it. Amelia does not love him, as you can tell. And he wants to go back to his dimension. He ends up by himself in the portal, leaves a note behind, and Judah Master is looking at him, and Judah Master sees him go into the portal, and pretty much Judah Master writes a note, ends up going in there, and then the door closes behind them. But he leaves that helmet because that helmet has to be left behind in order for you to go through dimensions. And when you see that, guys, it gets very sad because you can just tell that everyone's hurting about it. Amelia, Ads, Economos, and Vigilante takes the worst part of it. You can tell Vigilante has never changed in this entire season. He's the only character, and he's just sobbing and crying because Chris is gone. And their plan is for the team is to go get Chris back because they do have that portal. The portal door, he did leave it behind. Judah Master's in there too as well. He left a note behind that says Judah with his Hot Cheeto fingerprints. And then we also see in this other dimension, Chris. And I think they're called the Triumph Trio. I think it's called the Ultimate Trio, which is himself, Peacemaker, Captain Triumph, which is his brother, and the Blue Dragon, which is his dad. They go take down a big kaiju, and it's the exact same kaiju that was in Superman. And after they take that kaiju down, pretty much, you don't see them taking down the kaiju, but you see them going to that, and then you see the kaiju on the news, and then you see what Peacemaker have always wanted. Amelia Hardcore and him just hugging it out inside Argus after he just defeated the kaiju, and that's how the episode ends. I do think that a lot of these characters are gonna go to this dimension and get Chris back, but they're gonna end up going to different dimensions, and it's gonna get wild, guys. Very, very wild. I know they had mentioned that the last three episodes of Peacemaker were not released to the press because they're full of cameos. I think Superman's gonna come up. Not sure who else is gonna come up, to be honest. I know they mentioned Bloodhaven, and in Peacemaker. And the second I mentioned, the first one, maybe Nightwing shows up, which I doubt it. Superman character, I mean a Batman family character will be pretty cool. But not sure who's gonna show up. Maybe more of Green Lantern, of Guy Gardner's Green Lantern, or maybe Aaron Pierre's John Stewart Green Lantern, and Kyle Chandler's Hale Jordan Green Lantern. Somebody give me more cameos. Hopefully, it's not just the same old cameos that we've been seeing. They're making this so secretive to the point where no one's seen the last episode, and you're putting everyone's expectations super high, so they better deliver. I think the last three episodes are going to be bonkers. I can't wait to talk to you guys more about when they release. Let me know what you guys think about this alternate X universe, what they're calling it. I think it's going to be that universe where everyone's pretty racist and stuff like that. You have not seen any African Americans in this universe, because Chris is he's so caught up in the moment of what he wants, he doesn't realize everything around him. He hasn't even realized that there's no African Americans in this universe. He's so caught up in what he wants, and him being with his brothers and his dad and his girl and having a perfect life. He's not seen everything around him. And when Ash shows up into this universe, it's going to be very interesting. But that is it, guys, for my Peacemaker season 2 episode 6 breakdown. Who do you guys think the cameo is going to be coming up in the next episodes? Are they going to show in the next episode, and then they're going to go on each episode different cameo, or are our expectations too high? But that is it, guys, for the rest of my movie news. Leave your comments down below of anything that I've talked about, but I will see you guys next time. Peace.